Support for Radio Friends comes from Homestead Senior Care, providing trustworthy, kind-hearted senior home care services in your loved one's home. All caregivers are thoroughly screened, extensively trained, professional, and reliable. Homestead is all about providing the highest quality home care service to fit you and your family's needs. Plus, if you would be interested in becoming a caregiver, they offer great part-time positions. Give them a call at 573-442-4333 or check it out at homestead.com. Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Thursday, December the 21st. We're just a couple of days away from Christmas. This is the time of year when many of us set goals. We look back in time and we look forward in time. Sometimes people who have lost someone close to them, this is a very depressing time of year. But I thought it would be important today that we set a segment aside and talk about the power of positive thinking. And I want to introduce you to DOUG Bannister, who is a teacher and director of School of Metaphysics. Good to have you here, Doug.
Good to be here, Paul.
And I think you've been on Radio Friends once or twice before.
Yes.
But many of us do not take advantage of what is available in our mind with the power of positive thinking. Do you agree with that?
I do agree with that.
There's the power of positive thinking and there's the power of negative thinking.
It's a choice.
Yes. You think negative and you're going to have negative things come into your life. You think positive and you're going to have positive things come into your life. How does that happen?
Well, you're speaking about attitude. And our attitudes really set the direction. They set the way. And two people can see an event and one think it's negative and one think it's positive, depending on the choices they make, the way they wish to see it. If we can see the good in something, that can tend to help us be more positive about it.
It's like saying the glass is either half full or the glass is half empty. You're taking a more positive note if you say the glass is half full. It's half full. It's going up.
Yeah, and when we do that, we're seeing the possibility of opportunity, possibilities, openness. Mm-hmm. And when we take a negative, that's a contraction. That's a shutting down. And so we're limited in our thinking. The options aren't available to us. They're not even on the radar screen. There are times when we do want to contract, when we do want to pull the covers over our heads and take it easy. And we call that a time for assimilation. However, it's very important to understand that positive thinking, or any thinking, is a choice. We have the choice to view something in a particular light. And the power of positive thinking can be built. We can build a habit of thinking more positively so that more options are available to us, so that we can see the possibilities.
Do you not believe that when we start thinking positive, we actually draw good vibes our way?
I absolutely agree that that's the case.
We draw good vibes our way, and we draw people to us who are also thinking positive. And when you get all of this going together, only good things can happen. Mm-hmm. Now, somebody might be listening and say, hey, that's a bunch of malarkey, because I've had all these horrible things happen to me this year, and I was trying to think positive, but still bad things happen. Well, how do you explain that?
Let me share a story, if I might. I was in Vietnam in 70, from 69 to 71, and my mother sent me a picture. I'm the oldest of four. She sent me a picture of my younger brother. They were on a farm in Pennsylvania in wintertime. He had a stocking cap pulled over his ears and a wool coat, and in each hand he had a bucket. And it was a full-length picture. He was surrounded by pigs and hogs. He was slopping hogs. And on his face, Paul, was the biggest grin you can imagine, and I could see the condensation and the breath coming out. He was happy. There aren't many people that would be happy in that situation, probably. When I received that picture in Vietnam, it changed my life right then.
Because you saw happiness there.
Yes. I saw the choice. I saw that we have an option. And when we choose to see a benefit or the goodness, that old adage of there's a silver lining in every cloud, I think is very, very true, because it's a quantum physics kind of principle that we can change the effect by our observing it. So how we observe things, how we interpret the energy of an action or an interaction or an experience has all to do with how we receive, how much we can receive, the benefit we can receive from it, and how we can leverage that into more of that very thing. Gratitude goes hand in hand with what we're talking about.
Yes, yes. I'll tell you a story, and this is a true story. This was about, it happened to me about 45 years or so ago. I was living in an apartment down from a little house on a street that I walked by every day with my dog, and I just loved this little house. And I always said to myself, boy, I would love to own this house. One day, the owner put a for sale sign up at the house, okay? So I went running down there as fast as I could to see how much that house was going to sell for. They told me. And I said, well, how do I buy it? Now, at this point, I had no money whatsoever. I think I had, and this is true, I think I had about $80 in the bank. But I told myself, I'm going to buy this house. So I said, well, how do I do this? He said, well, you need to make an offer, and then you need to put down earnest money. And I said, well, how much earnest money? He said, remember, this is 45 years ago. $500 earnest money. Okay. So I called my parents, and I said, hey, I want to buy a house. Can you lend me some money? And they said, you don't have any money. How are you going to buy a house? So I go to the bank, and I applied for a loan, and they said, how much you got in the bank here? And I said, $80. He said, oh, my goodness, there is no way. He said, can you get your parents to lend you some money? This was before they could do instantaneous checking. He said, if you can get a couple $1,000s, put it in the bank. You tell me when you have it in there, and then I'll check. Okay. So I did that. They lent me the money. I put the earnest money down. I went out with that $1,500 I had left, and I started buying furniture. I was so sure I was going to get that house. My mother and father they couldn't believe I was doing this. They said, you're crazy. Well, you know what? 2 weeks to the day after I put the offer in, and the bank called me at 5 o'clock that evening and said, you got the loan. I had bought the furniture, I got the loan, and I think it was only because I did not allow any negative thoughts to come in at all. And that is an honest-to-God true story.
You saw the possibilities.
Yeah. I think you have to believe.
Absolutely.
You have to believe.
We sabotage ourselves with negative thinking.
Yeah.
We shut the options off. We just can't. They're just not visible to us. They're not available to us.
People want more information. School of Metaphysics, what's your number?
449-8312. That's a 573 area code. We're directly across the street from the library.
Okay.
Should I say that again? 449-8312.
449-8312.
And we can be found on Facebook.
Okay.
It's the School of Metaphysics, /Columbia.
All right. Thank you, DOUG Bannister. Appreciate it.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, Paul.